Second speech now. Our second speaker is Marq Lipton, who's going to be doing a speech called One Cheeseburger Away from Dying. Marq is doing a speech from Pathway with it's quite a mouthful name, CS Entertaining Speaker plus Storytelling, which I think is basically the old Competent Communicator Manual plus a storytelling and entertaining speaker rolled together into Pathway. He's doing speech 1.2, Organise Your Speech. This assignment includes a 5 to 7 minute speech to your club. The purpose of this project is to write and deliver a well-organised speech with a clear message. Most of us finish a speech contest by taking a break. Marq celebrated by going home and writing more speeches. After advancing to the district level of the International Speech Contest for the last 2 years, he started exploring new ideas for next year's contest. Tonight's speech is one of those possibilities. Whether it becomes next year's contest speech is anyone's guess. This speech is from the CS Entertaining Speaker plus Storytelling Level 1 Organising Your Speech project. Next speaker is Marq Lipton with One Cheeseburger Away from Dying. With One Cheeseburger Away from Dying, Marq Lipton.
I couldn't catch my breath. Simple activities, walking upstairs, chasing after my 4-year-old granddaughter, made me feel like I had just run a marathon. I took every test, and the doctor said, everything's fine. One more test. No, there's no way I wanted it. I knew it wasn't going to do any good. And I wasn't going to let them thread a wire through my heart. Then my wife looks at me. So there I was on the table in the hospital with a wire being thread through my heart. And the only way I am holding it together is by practicing my speech. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure you can understand the critical situation I was in. I was speaking Saturday. So there I was with a wire threaded through my heart. But I'm not thinking about that. Nope, I got more important things on my mind. Is it better to say life felt right or life felt perfect? Now I'm trying to work that out, and the doctor is giving orders to the medical team. And that makes me want to ask him a question. Hey, Doc, can you keep the chatter down a bit? I'm working here. But I don't. Instead, I drift into the speech, far away from the table, far away from that wire through my heart. See, my speech opens with a panic attack, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the audience to feel that while I'm laying in the hospital with a wire through my heart. And somehow that is relaxing me. Well, maybe the drugs are helping a little bit. So there I am, and I drift deep, deep into that speech, far away from it all. And I hear a voice. Marq, come back to us. Marq. It's the doctor, again with his interruptions. He has a monitor. He wants to show me this little line, and he says, that's your artery. We're going to need to fix that right away. And then someone comes in, says something to the doctor, and the doctor turns to me. I have an emergency. I'll be back. And he leaves me on the table with that wire in my heart. And I think, finally, some quiet time. Well, the doctor comes back, fixes the artery, and I'm wheeled into recovery. My wife is waiting for me. It took so long. Are you okay? What happened? But before I can answer, the doctor comes in. You had a near total blockage in your left anterior descending artery. The nurse translates. That's what we call the widowmaker artery. Now, what would be your reaction if you just heard the widowmaker almost did you in? Fear? Anxiety? Panic? Me? I hear widowmaker. Cool. Now that's a name that's going to grab attention. Then I notice my wife. She's collapsed back into her chair. And it hits me. I almost left her alone. I almost lost my chance to see my granddaughter grow up. All of this is happening to me, and I have no control over what's any of the body. But my mind. So I do what I always do. One cheeseburger away from dying. Now that's a speech title. You would think an experience like this would change me, but it didn't. But it taught me something. The widowmaker nearly kills me, and I come up with a speech about cheeseburgers. That's not avoidance. That's how I survive. Storytelling is what keeps me alive. Well, this time, maybe the titanium stent and the doctor helped a little bit. I know, someday, that cheeseburger or another will have me. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be standing in front of the pearly gates of heaven, and St. Peter is going to be looking down at me. Marq Lipton, why do you deserve to be allowed into heaven? Why do you deserve to be allowed into heaven, Marq Lipton? Well, Pete, thank you for that question. And I have a 5 to 7 minute story to tell you. And it has very little to do with cheeseburgers. Mr. Toastmaster.
Our second evaluator tonight, evaluating Marq Lipton, is Pema Fox. Please welcome Pema to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and welcome everybody, and especially Marq. Marq started off by telling us a humorous story about when he was on death's door. And we knew it was going to be humorous because he said one hamburger away from dying. So that I knew it was going to be a humorous speech. It was also a speech where Marq is, we all know Marq, that he's adamant that he is going to write a fantastic contest speech, and he started off really well with doing that. My first recommendation to Marq would be to make sure you are unmuted so you don't throw yourself off the pace, because you will have already started off by going into the flow of what you have practiced. So with that said, Marq gave us a very enjoyable story to listen to. Did the opening grab me? Yes, definitely. I did know it did. I would have liked a stronger opening, and perhaps if Marq could have stayed. I was having a panic attack, and it started off because then we would all be alert. That said, he continued on into the story. The speech had a good organization and an overall arc all the way through, because it told us about what he was suffering while his body was letting him down. However, his mind was still alert. And Marq was actually composing a speech when he was dying on death's door. And I liked the humorous bit when he came to the Widowmaker. That was very humorous. I thought that was really good. So did the humor land? Absolutely, it did last. It landed for me. My recommendation would be to have a clearer path on where the humor is going to go, and to make it more concrete, and have the energy of the words you use land, and have the pauses in between. Is there enough underneath the humor to make it work as a contest speech? Definitely. Marq is going to practice this, and I know that he said he was sitting there composing a speech, and I thought, gosh, that was really funny. The man's dying, but he's still, composing a speech down there, so that he is in the end going to get the judges to give him that winning speech that we all know he truly wants. I would say this is a fantastic speech in the making. It definitely grabbed me. It'll grab me a lot more with a bit of tweaking. The overall organization was great. It had solid points. It took us through factually about where he was, the humor with the way his wife was thinking about him, where he was. Does the humor land? Most definitely. And there definitely is humor. There's enough underneath the humor in the storyline to perfect this more. And I look forward to hearing this speech again with more context through it. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.